Well, here's my HO scale logging layout. Built in 3 separate sections. This is the first section, called the Sierra, Truckee, and Pacific. Originally this was 3 by 4 feet, and then I added on this 2-foot section of the turntable and the roundhouse. So that makes it 3 by 6 feet. The unique thing about this layout is that it's divided into 2 sections. This here is the little town of Truckee, California, like an old turn of the century mining town, western town. And then you go through the tunnels here, and right here on the other side, the little town of Gap, up in the Sierra Mountains, in the snow. It's one of the first small layouts that I built about 25 years ago. And I put quite a lot of time in detailing this for the first winter scene I ever did. Thought it turned out pretty well. Train basically makes 2 loops around, one on the lower level, one on the upper level. As I say, it's the winter scene. This is the assayer's office. There's a little sign pointing you toward the Sierra gold fields. Go mining up there in the mountains. Turned off some of the lights here for a night scene. Have the street lights there. Not really on a street, but on a loading dock. Gives kind of a nice effect reflecting off the snow. Yeah, again over on this side, got a little scene there depicting the. Okay, this is the year of 1904, because that little automobile you see there is a 1904 Oldsmobile. It's kind of depicting the first car to ever visit this little town. All the people are coming out, scratching their heads, wondering what the heck that thing is. They've never seen a car before. And over here you got Wells Fargo stagecoach coming into town. Sheriff's office. Wells Fargo station. So that's about all for this. Now we'll move on to section number 2. This is the second section of my logging layout. Actually, it's the center section, the middle section. Not connected right now to the other 2. Don't have room right yet to connect all 3 of them together. Basically 2 levels. I have the lower level and the upper level. Yeah, the upper level is pretty steep grade. It's just a layout 3 feet by 5 feet. I'm sorry, it's 3 feet by 6 feet. Yeah, the upper level has a pretty steep grade, but that's why I run the Shay there, pulling the logging cars up the steep grade. And the back of it here, I have a double crossover. So again, if you want to run just one train, you can run one train continuously up and down the upper loop, back down to the lower loop. So you have kind of a nice long main line. And then the double crossover isolates it into 2 separate loops for running 2 trains, like I am right now. And on the right side here, this this track here is going to go and connect to the other first layout that you saw, the layout number 1. It'll go in and connect there, and it'll come over here, comes across, and right here it's going to go and connect with the third section of the layout, which you'll see after this. And when I get all three of them hooked together, what I'll do is have an automatic reversing unit on this upper level here, and it'll basically be like a point-to-point operation. I can have a train going back and forth and reversing from the first section and be coming across here over to the third section, and it'll automatically reverse and just move back and forth. So I'll have one train running on the first section, 2 trains on this section, and 2 trains running on the third section, and the one point-to-point reversing train. So it'll be a nice display layout. It'll be 6 trains, 6 trains running at once. The main station back here, which is on the through line, which would be the point-to-point, which kind of is an interchange, which goes from the western Sierra to the eastern Sierra, across the Sierra. And there's a little station here on the upper line for Gopher Junction, which branches off and goes over to the main line. And a little engine house there, engine facility. Alright, now I'll move on to the third section. So this is the third section of my logging railroad, called the Virginia and Sierra Railroad. This kind of depicts the eastern slope of the Sierras, down by Virginia City, Nevada, into that area. This is a 2-level layout. Four feet by 6.5 feet. Right over here is where it's going to connect to the second section, the middle section, which you just saw before this. Here on the front side, I have where the lower section comes down. I have an opening where you can see the train go through like a tunnel. It's open for viewing. A little town. There's a log pond. A little sawmill here where they bring the logs in. These geared locomotives sure are noisy. That's the roundhouse Climax. The one you saw earlier running on the other section of the roundhouse J. If anybody has any ideas or knows how to quiet those down, please leave me a message. I've tried about everything I can think of to quiet those down and nothing seems to work. In my little gorge here, we have 2 tracks going into 2 tunnel entrances. And this right here is the bridge. This is where the point-to-point, which I mentioned earlier, would come and switch down there and then hit the reversing switch and then come back and reverse back over to section 1. Yeah, that's about all. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know.